Chicago rapper Lil Durk, known for his influence in the rap game and his ties to the streets, is facing the fight of his life. Arrested last month on murder-for-hire charges, the public has speculated endlessly about his state of mind and what life is like for him in federal prison. Well, we don't have to guess anymore. Lil Durk recently spoke out on a Jailhouse phone call, offering a rare and raw glimpse into his mindset behind bars. Let's break down this shocking phone call, the reactions it sparked, and what it reveals about his uphill battle against the feds. In the recording, Durk projects an air of calm and control. "Hey, I know you in that with your feet kicked up. I'm telling you, I already know." Throughout the conversation, he reassures his people, sounding confident and composed. The internet is buzzing with reactions, with many fans impressed by his level-headed demeanor. Durk sounds unbothered, some commenters say. Others believe this is the mark of someone who is mentally prepared to fight the case. But is this confidence real? Or is it a front? Let's be real. Prison isn't a place for luxury, especially for someone like Lil Durk, a millionaire with a Grammy-winning career, 7 kids, and a lifestyle most people dream of. No matter how confident someone sounds on a phone call, the reality is harsh. Basic things like eating, using the bathroom, or making a phone call are privileges, not rights. Living conditions, bland meals, hard beds, and constant surveillance strip away any sense of normalcy. For someone used to calling the shots, the transition is brutal. Anyone who's been inside knows that phone calls are often performances. You don't want your family or your team to see you weak. Durk's feet kicked up comment may be more about protecting his image than reflecting his true feelings. Facing serious federal charges, the Durk's frustrations have reportedly boiled over. Durk has always been a man of loyalty, at least on the surface. But with someone allegedly snitching from within OTF, that loyalty has turned into a dangerous game of survival and retaliation. Durk's case is no joke. Federal indictments don't come without mountains of evidence. And in this case, it's not looking good. Allegations of being the head of a criminal enterprise, accusations of financing hits and trafficking weapons, paper trails of flights and transactions tied to violent incidents. And the most damning part, someone snitching. Durk likely knows who, but that doesn't make it any easier. When the feds label you the boss of a criminal enterprise, the stakes are astronomically high. They're not just building a case, they're crafting a spectacle. For Lil Durk, the streets he's repped so hard may now be morphing into a battlefield where alliances crumble, loyalty is tested, and betrayal lurks in every corner. Loyalty often has an expiration date when the federal government steps in. The feds are relentless in turning co-defendants into cooperating witnesses, dangling reduced sentences as bait. Reports suggest that Durk hasn't stayed silent about the alleged betrayal. On a recent Jailhouse call, he made it clear that anyone playing both sides, or cooperating with the feds, will face consequences. "I built this from the ground up," he allegedly said. "If you fold now, don't think you'll walk away untouched." While Durk hasn't named names, insiders say he's laser-focused on finding out who flipped. The paperwork circulating online has sparked speculation about who within his camp might be cooperating. Durk reportedly issued a stark warning to his team, both inside and outside the system. "OTF ain't built for rats," he allegedly told close associates. "This is more than just disappointment. It's a direct threat to anyone who might jeopardize his freedom." The streets live by their own code, and betrayal isn't just frowned upon. It's punishable by any means necessary. Durk's recent rhetoric suggests he's sticking to that code, even while locked up. OTF, once seen as a tight-knit brotherhood, now looks more like a ticking time bomb. The looming question of who snitched is creating paranoia and division. While Durk's threats might feel justified in the moment, they could spell trouble for his defense. The feds are always listening, and any hint of witness intimidation could be used against him in court. If the government can prove that Durk or his associates tried to threaten or harm potential witnesses, it could add years to his sentence. Fans who admire Durk for his loyalty may start to question his leadership if these threats escalate. What happens when loyalty turns into fear? Whoever snitched knew the stakes. The feds rarely show their hand unless they have a solid case, and a snitch within OTF is the ultimate ace up their sleeve. Whoever flipped likely weighed the risks and rewards. The promise of a lighter sentence, or even immunity, could have been too tempting to pass up. Fighting a federal case is hard enough, but doing so with a mole in your camp makes it nearly impossible. Every move he makes is now under a microscope. Durk's rise to fame was built on loyalty and street values. He's rapped countless times about the pain of betrayal, from fallen friends to fake allies. Yet now, he finds himself in the exact situation he's spent years warning about in his music. "Don't trust nobody" has been a recurring theme in Durk's lyrics. But even he couldn't predict that the betrayal would come from within his own circle. Durk's refusal to distance himself from the streets, even as he became a global superstar, is now coming back to haunt him in the most devastating way. Facing decades in prison, some of Durk's associates may start looking out for themselves rather than sticking to the code. When survival is on the line, even the most loyal soldiers can fold. If the feds paint Durk as the boss who gave the orders, his crew might see flipping as the only way to avoid being buried alive in a federal penitentiary. The streets always say, the paperwork don't lie. And in federal cases, that paperwork tells stories of betrayal. It's not just about who's talking, it's about how much they're revealing. For years, Durk stood as a symbol of unwavering allegiance to the streets, a voice for his city and his people, glorifying the code of loyalty while navigating the treacherous waters of fame and street ties. But now, with the federal government gunning for him, the cracks in that foundation are glaringly visible. Durk's music has always been a raw and unfiltered reflection of street life. Vengeance, pain, and loyalty to the circle he built with friends like King Von. Tracks like Backdoor and Still Trappin' cemented his image as someone who stayed true to his roots, despite his rise to global fame. But here's the hard truth. Loyalty in the streets is often conditional, and the rules change when prison time enters the equation. After Von's tragic death, countless voices urged Durk to shift his focus, protect his legacy, and secure his future. But instead, his continued references to street activities in his music and allegations of involvement in violent incidents kept him in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. Durk's refusal to go Hollywood was applauded by fans, but authenticity in the rap game often comes at a steep cost. His decision to stay tethered to the streets may have added credibility to his lyrics, but it also painted a bullseye on his back for law enforcement. Let's be clear, when the federal government builds a case, they don't do it on a whim. They're meticulous, patient, and relentless. They've likely been watching Durk for years, collecting evidence and piecing together a narrative. This isn't just Durk's fight anymore. It's a spectacle for the streets and the industry. Everyone is watching to see how he handles the snitch, the threats, and the mounting pressure. Will he rise above, or will his loyalty to a crumbling code pull him under? As the story unfolds, one thing is certain. Durk's next moves will define not only his future, but the legacy of OTF. The question remains, how far will he go to protect his name and his freedom, and at what cost? And the insight we brought to the table. Before you go, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our upcoming content. Ring the notification bell while you're at it. That way, you'll always be the first to know when we drop something new. Oh, and if you found value in this video, smash that like button. It's totally free, but it helps us out way more than you might think. Every like, comment, and share helps keep this channel growing, so we can bring you even more great videos. Thanks for tuning in, and we can't wait to see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay tuned, and keep it locked right here.